listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
A Beverly Hillbilly.
This is Beverly Hills, California, home of moguls, movie stars, millionaires, and the jet set. Lying partially within Beverly Hills is Los Angeles' Restaurant Row. More than a mile of fabulous eating places, mealtime mecca for the world's most glamorous appetites. Close by this thoroughfare, another restaurant has recently opened, making its bid for culinary stardom. The Happy Gizzard. The Happy Gizzard.
Dinner time! Come and get it! Dad, Ellie Mae, Jethro, Vittles is ready. The day is just cold. I'm going to get hot. Where's Jethro? He's late for Vittles.
Don't blow your flue, Granny. He's out trying to scare up some business.
You couldn't scare anybody into this place with a brace of shotguns.
Mr. Drysdale said it takes a little while for a restaurant to get popular.
Popular? I just wished he'd get his first customer.
Shouldn't be too much longer now. He's been open a week.
Maybe you should have set him up in some other kind of business, Jed.
Boy chose this one. Of course, maybe I shouldn't have asked him just before mealtime.
Well, I'm sure tired of cooking up a couple of tons of stuff on this menu and having no customers to eat it.
Howdy. Is lunch ready?
Yep, sit down.
That's a good thing about having a restaurant. You get to eat out a lot. What do we have?
The soup of the day for yesterday. 20 gallons of catfish and apricot gumbo.
Dog. I'm almost glad we ain't doing no business.
All right. You find out why.
Yeah. And it's so exciting, I can't even wait to finish eating to tell you.
What is it?
I said I can't wait to finish eating. I can't wait till I get started.
I can't. Start talking.
All right. You see, I've been driving around checking out the other restaurants. And the ones with the people lined up outside is all advertising the same thing.
What is it?
Topless waitresses.
What's a topless waitress?
You mean you don't know?
No, me neither.
You do, don't you, Uncle Jed?
Nope.
Well, if that don't sound like a bunch of backcountry apple knockers talking. Living here in Beverly Hills all this time, and you ain't even sophisticated enough to know what a topless waitress is?
Well, Mr. Hot Shot Man around town, what are they?
Well, I ain't sure. None of the places have let me in. Now, quit that, Ellie. They must have figured I was a competition. It's a good thing I got an education, sophistication, and savoir-faire to figure it out.
All right. What's a topless waitress?
There's only one thing it could be. As anybody knows that's been around as much as me, that all them waitresses wears them silly little hats. Now, the way I got it figured, all the waitresses that work in these topless places don't wear anything on their heads. No hats or nets or nothing. How? Because they look better. See? Even Ellie looks almost pretty. I can hardly wait to get over and tell Mr. Drysdale I ain't even going to take the time to eat.
Do you think we ought to give this topless business a try, Jed?
Might as well. Don't tell him what city folks like. Sure can't lose him no customer.
All right. I think we're ready to receive our potential new depositors now.
Welcome, beloved Mr. and Mrs. Vandorp.
I wish you would start thinking about Jethro and forget the Vandorps for a moment.
Forget a possible $20 million account. It's no Clampett fortune, but it's not exactly petty cash either.
But what about Jethro, trying to make a go of that dilapidated diner you saddled him with?
Don't blame me. He wanted a business of his own. All I did was give it to him.
Oh, you gave him the business, all right. After what you've done, I don't know how you managed to get to sleep at night.
Very simple. I count money. The difference between renting that diner for Jethro at $35 a month or buying a restaurant for $200,000 like Mr. Clampett wanted to do.
Good old Mr. Drysdale. Heart of solid gold. Cold and hard.
Mr. Vandorp? Mrs. Vandorp? Gee, oh, they're here. Hail, Mr. and Mrs. Vandorp. My bank is yours. Where are the Vandorps?
They're not here yet.
You mean I just blew $2 with a rose petal?
I must talk to you about Jethro.
You'll have to wait. I have other fish to fry. And here they are now, Mr. and Mrs. Vandorp. Come in, you lovely people.
Mr. Drysdale, I'll get right to the point. We are looking for a financial institution whose clientele is of the very highest social caliber. Leaders of society, aristocracy, etc.
You have found it. Champagne Countess Hathaway.
When our money talks, we want it speaking to only the best people.
This is a bank for you. Oh, I wish you could meet some of our distinguished depositors.
I've heard that, but my Uncle Jed ain't here. Will I do? Yeah, I just got here. I knew you'd want to hear the good news. Our restaurant, the Happy Gizzard, is going topless. I know why y'all are staring. Forgot to introduce myself. My name's Jethro Bodine. Uncle Jed's the biggest depositor in the bank. Ain't he, Mr. Drysdale?
Thank you, Mr. Drysdale. You certainly do have an exclusive clientele. There can't be many more in Beverly Hills like that.
Well, thank you. I didn't get your name. Sure like to have you stop by my restaurant sometime.
Jethro, I can hardly believe my ears. Does your Uncle Jed know about this topless business?
Sure. He says it's all the same to him, but the waitresses don't care.
You'd better talk to Mr. Drysdale.
I better come back later. He ain't feeling well.
Yes, he probably is a little sick now.
He must have a thunderclap or a headache. He's got ice pack on his head.
$20 million account gone. A topless restaurant on my hand. This could drive a man to philanthropy.
I just thought of a new dish that might bring customers in here. I'll take my owl burgers, add a little pickled Rudy Bakers, and call them Rudy Burgers.
Oh, Granny! Boy, this topless sign worked in half. The minute I got out to the road, it stored a bigger fuss than a firecracker in a hen house.
What happened?
Well, the cars in the truck started jamming on their brakes, and folks started whistling. I run back here before they all smashed into one another.
Oh, Scooby-Doo, there you are, you cute little tomato. I blew a head gasket over you.
Don't you get fresh with me, a big wolf.
Granny, you're making a mistake.
No, I ain't. I know his type, spouting all that love poetry, dress fit to kill.
Excuse Granny, mister. She's kind of excited about tonight. Can I offer you some refreshments on the house?
Oh, all right. I'll have some jala.
Son, we ain't got none of that. How about a cup of coffee instead?
Well, let's forget it, huh? I gotta be going anyways. It's just that I saw Blondie there with that sign. Tell me, is this really a topless place?
It will be tonight.
Oh, great. I gotta make the midnight run to Fresno. How about saving me that stool for around 11 o'clock, huh?
All right. And maybe by that time we'll find a Java to cook for you.
Well, it's not the food I'm interested in as much as the service. The waitresses, if you get what I mean.
I sure do, and you're in luck. At 11, Granny has the duty.
The little old lady.
We're all pitching in to help my nephew. He's having a little trouble making a go of this place. That's the reason we're trying a topless waitress.
Well, let me give you a little tip. You'd better have somebody ready to replace Grandma there.
Thanks, we do.
Oh, good.
If she gets tired, I'm taking over.
Well, lots of luck. And if sheer courage can do it, you got it made. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
What did he tear out of here like that for?
I don't know. He said he had a midnight run to Fresno. Could be he wants to get his legs warmed up.
rascal trying to get out of here without paying his bill. His truck partner killed me.
Oh, did you tell Mr. Drysdale about the Topless?
Oh, yeah. He got so excited, he got a log splitter of a headache.
My folks just can't take good news.
I'll give you some medicine to take over to him, Jed. I'd go myself, but I can't leave my post here.
What are you giving him?
Some of my surefire headache remedy.
Hey, that is rheumatism medicine, corn squeezing.
Well, if you drink enough, it'll stop your headache.
If you drink enough, it'll stop your breathing.
Well, it's even safe for city folks if they follow the prescription.
What prescription?
3 fingers of remedy in a glass, add water, ice cubes, twist a lemon, and sip your head off.
My dear Mr. and Mrs. Vandorp, you can't know how happy I am that you've reconsidered.
How could we refuse when you threw yourself right in front of our car in the middle of Sunset Boulevard?
Well, actually, that was one of my clerks. But it was my hand that pushed him.
Really?
But he's being rewarded. I'm letting him go home early tonight.
In any case, I suppose we should meet Mr. Clampett, your largest depositor, before we eliminate your bank as a possibility.
Oh, thank you. Oh, do let me take care of your money for you. I'll treat it as my very own. I'll take it out every day and play with it. We'll take long walks together. I'll be more than just its banker. I'll be its pal.
And I must say, your love for money borders on the psychotic.
Oh, thank you, gracious lady.
Yeah, we're late for an appointment at the Merchant's Bank. We'll let you know which bank we choose, Mr. Drysdale.
Have dinner with me tonight before you make a decision.
All right, if you release my wrist. You're bending my bracelet. Perhaps then we can meet Mr. Clampett.
Well, I think he might be in Europe. But take my word for it, he's not like his nephew. But Jethro's a bit... all that inbreeding. Royalty, you know. But Mr. Clampett, he's every inch a multimillionaire. Tall, broad-shouldered, silver-haired, with just a trace of an accent.
Howdy. I bring you a headache remedy.
There's something I forgot to mention. Jed Clampett is also a world-famous physician. Eccentric, but a fantastically brilliant doctor.
I must talk to him. I've been to 100 specialists seeking a cure for my migraines.
How are you, Mr. Drysdale? I hear you're feeling lower than a well-digger's heel.
Oh, how good of you to come, and all the way from Europe. Huh? But I'm feeling wonderful now.
Oh, well, good. Then I won't bother to leave this headache remedy.
Oh, I want you to meet Mr. and Mrs. Vandorp.
Well, howdy.
How do you do?
How are you?
Well, now that you ask, I've a little pain right here. And I haven't been sleeping well, and my liver is not what it should be. Then, too, I've always been bothered with migraines.
Well, it's a pleasure to know you so well so soon.
Well, as long as Mr. Drysdale doesn't need it, do you mind if I take along your headache remedy?
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Clampett. We'll see you at 7:30, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, but man, I ain't no doc. Be sure and follow directions on the...
I want to thank you again, Miss J, for coming over and clearing us up on that Topless business.
Thanks, Miss Jane.
Now, you'll tell Ellie right away, won't you?
Oh, I'll tell her as soon as I can. She ought to be ready to hear it in about 3 or 4 years.
I can't understand how come my giant brain come up with the wrong answer.
That's all right, darling.
Even computers make mistakes.
Yeah, geniuses, too. Thomas Edison goofed a few times before he invented the airplane.
So Thomas Edison made the first light bulb.
See? That's what I mean about goofing. Imagine coming up with a light bulb when he's trying for an airplane.
Yes. But now we must think of a new way to make the Happy Gizzard a success. For example, I definitely feel we should change the name.
You're right. It ought to be something that makes you hungry the minute you hear it. Like the boiled mule.
Of course, the Happy Gizzard isn't bad.
What one of the problems is the food we serve.
What?
Granny Jethro was referring to the menu. After all, Beverly Hills is a very cosmopolitan city. And look at this. Southern fried muskrat. Stuffed groundhog. Corned beaver and cabbage.
That's right, Miss Jane. You see, in a city this size, well, you can get victuals like that at almost any restaurant in town. What my place needs is something different. Like, making it French-like. Hey, I'm serving fancy French food, like French fries and tacos and chop suey.
You should do some research first.
Oh, I intend to.
Well, good. And remember, Romanovs wasn't built in a day.
Thanks, Granny, for not being mad at me for that topless waitress notion. Just something to laugh at now, ain't it? Yeah. What are you doing with the skillet? Cook me some vittles? You ain't laughing, Granny. Granny!
You hear that funny clang, kind of faint like?
No.
I reckon I better skedaddle back to the restaurant.
Well, I'm sure everything will be all right.
Too bad about Jethro. He was all a tingle over the grand opening tonight.
Yes, I wish there was something I could do.
Well, there is. You can bring the missus and come over to the restaurant for supper.
Oh, that's impossible. Margaret's in Boston, and besides, I'm taking the Vandorps to dinner tonight. It means a big new account for the bank.
Oh, I understand. Got to do it up brown, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, bring him along.
What?
We'll kill him with kindness. Put on a big spread.
Mr. Clampett, you don't mean...
No trouble. The place ain't exactly swamped with customers, you know.
I can't. The Vandorps...
Well, I'd consider it a big favor on my account if you would.
Your account, yes, but...
Now, don't race your engine. Jethro will be pleasured no end. Now, don't disappoint us. Granny's cooking up something special.
Yeah, my goose.
Okay, everybody, get ready. Mr. Drysdale's limousine just pulled in. Now, remember, Uncle Jed, you promised to let me handle this all by myself.
I'll wait out back. You holler if you need me.
I know what to do. Heck, practically every movie I've seen had a French restaurant in it.
You remember that these Vandorp folks is very important to Mr. Drysdale. I want them sure to evening they won't forget.
Don't worry. That Mrs. Vandorp is crazy about yours truly. Heck, just finding me here will be a big thrill to her.
I'm all ready, Jethro.
Good. Now, remember your French accent. Chef Pierre, are you ready?
Jethro, I've decided I ain't gonna be no man.
Oh, come on, Granny. They'll be here any minute. All French restaurants has got men chefs.
I told you I'd do the cooking, and I did. Wearing a mustache is something else. Besides, it's getting all soggy. Fell into the soup kettle twice already.
Please, Granny, just for tonight.
Well...
All right, now you just get out of sight till I introduce you.
Oh, it's him again! I'm smelling sauce.
I told you, she's just overpowering fond of me. Welcome to the Happy Gizzard. How do you like my accent?
It's atrocious.
Oh, it's French.
Say hi to the goat.
Can't you see they ain't wearing none, you dumb old girl?
If you're going to talk that way, I quit.
Come on, Jethro, get this over with. See us. Well, what is the name, please?
Drysdale.
Let me see. How do you spell that?
After the night, M-U-D.
Oui. Here it is. The best table in the house.
Oh, let go of me. Oh, I feel faint.
Just my hand on your arm done it to you, huh? You are tough with me.
Oh, you ludicrous buffoon.
Well, I'm right fond of you, too. But enough of this flattery. I want you to meet the chef that's responsible for the taste treat that's in store for you tonight. Doggone, I forgot my French accent. It is my pleasure to present the greatest French cook in the whole world, Chef Pierre. Chef Pierre. Granny!
Quit your hollering.
What's that you got on your lip?
The mustache.
What happened to the one that I gave you?
Told you it was all soup-soaked. The dog out back snatched it out of my hands and run off with it.
Granny, that looks like part of a vegetable brush.
That's what it is.
Oh, Granny.
I got a whole meal cooked for them folks. Better not let them out of here before they eat it.
Hey, wait. You can't leave yet. Hey, Granny's been cooking all afternoon. Hey, take a look at the menu I planned for you.
Vichyssoise, bœuf bourgogne, pomme au gratin, crêpe Suzette. We ought to try it. Granny's an excellent cook.
Well, I am starving.
Here it is, dig in.
But this isn't bœuf bourgogne and pomme au gratin. It's...
Grits and hog job.
Grits and hog joust? Granny, you said you was going to cook French food.
This is better. I ain't serving company things like snails and frog legs.
I'm getting out of here.
Sit down, Pearly May. I'm having seconds.
George, how many times have I told you never to talk in public?
Too many. Now hush your face.
I ain't stunk my choppers and grits and jowls this good since we left Sorghum Ridge.
You mountain folks?
Darn tootin'. We lived so far back in the hills, the sun set betwixt our place and town.
You're supposed to be leaders of society.
Yeah, once I got filthy rich with uranium, Pearlie Mae started to talking fancy, getting high-tone notions. I think what done it was putting on her first pair of shoes.
Well, Mrs. Vandorp.
That punch sure had me fooled. Just a couple of hill folks like us.
They ain't hill folks. They lived in the Gulf.
Granny, don't be such a snob.
Oh, shucks, I don't care. I was just glad that Jethro got some paying customers. At least now he's in the restaurant business.
Hey, guess what? I'm out of the restaurant business.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mr. Vandorp made me an offer on a Happy Gizzard. Said he always wanted an eating place like mine.
How much?
Well, $1,000 if Granny does the cooking. $100 if she don't.
I hope I know what you answered him.
Now, there's only one thing the boy could have said.
That's right. You better get stumping, Granny. You're late for work.
Now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.
This has been a Filmways presentation.
Viacom.